am making a DIY kitchen, I guess you could put them anywhere, drop cloth cafe curtain. It took me a while to come out. So we have this blind up here I'm going to take down after I finish doing it, but we live really close to our neighbors. Like, that's their house, that is their pool cleaning thing that they use, and that blue stick drives me nuts, and I like to have the curtain open to let in natural light in here. So my solution is to make some DIY burlap curtains, so it's hanging below like their fence line, so I don't mind seeing like the trees, but at least some of it's letting some natural light in, but also the curtain will soften up my kitchen space a little bit too. So I'm gonna walk you through the tutorial, but it's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna use a drop cloth. I'm gonna cut it to the size that I want. That's why I have hanging up already the rod, because I'm gonna measure to see how long I want the curtains to be, and I'm not gonna sew it. I'm gonna use my handy dandy glue gun, which I have used for curtains, drop cloth curtains that I have hung in my dining room and in my office. So you don't have to sew, you don't need a sewing machine. It'll still look great. And yeah, it's super easy. So here we go. This is a drop cloth. I found it at Walmart. You can also find them on Amazon. I've done them from Amazon and Walmart before. This one that I like from Walmart is because I like the color of it already. The one that I got from Amazon is a little bit more brown tone, which you could always bleach. It's not a big deal. I'm just eliminating the step by picking a color of a canvas drop cloth that I like already. So I'm going to use these clips that you can find at Walmart, IKEA, Amazon. Hang up the curtain, so I put them on there because that's how I'm gonna measure. So I'm gonna want to measure from the clip down to the ground, and I don't really want them touching just because it's a kitchen and I don't want them to get dirty. So I'm gonna use my tape measure, measure them, and then I'll show you guys how I'm gonna cut out the drop cloth and do the rest. The top of my clips to the bottom is 20 inches, and then I'm gonna want to create like a little valance. So I'm gonna add about 12 inches. I'm going to show you why in a little bit, but you don't have to create the valance. I've done it for my curtains and I like the way that it looks. So that's why I'm going to add some more yardage onto my drop cloths to create the look. Also measuring width-wise because I want to see how wide they are. So my window's about 34 inches, divided in half is 17, and I'm going to add about an inch onto that just to make sure when I close them, there's plenty of curtain. I laid my tape measure down on the floor, and so forgot to mention, since we're going to use the glue gun, we're going to want to create a little seam and fold it over. So you're going to want to cut like maybe an inch or a half of an inch more than what you need to use when we fold it over and glue along the seam. So I wanted 18. I'm going to cut down 19, and just do your best to keep it straight. The one that I just cut out on top as my template, and I'm using the opposite end of the drop cloth because I want to keep the seam that's sewed the same on either side. So I'm just gonna lay it on top and I'm gonna cut around it. So I have my two panels cut, and I'm just gonna run an iron over them quickly to make sure they're all smooth before I go ahead and make the seams and do the glue gun. I want to make sure that they're all straight before I go ahead and do the next step. Okay, so I just finished ironing. Obviously, I'm not the best ironer, but if you use the sides of the curtains and use the top, you should already have two seams. And then, if you're creating a valance like I am, you're not gonna need to do the top seam because we're gonna fold it under and clip it to the clipping rails. So we only need to create one seam. Which is on this one, the seam right here along the long side. So to do that, we're just gonna fold it over, and when we fold it over, we're gonna get our iron out and create a seam with the iron. So when you do this, this is when you wanna really make sure that you get a straight line. You can use pins if that's easier for you to keep it straight, but I kinda just do it as I go, and once you flatten it with the iron, it will stay straight. So the pins really aren't needed. Unless you want to do it beforehand and then iron. Just did my iron straight. It's pretty straight. You don't have to like stress out about it being straight because this is going to be the side that's closest to the window, so it's not really going to matter as much. So now I'm just going to lift it up and put glue in as close to the like seam, let's see, whatever that's called, crease, as I can, and then I'm gonna just cut off the excess. Oliver, see, you can even do this with the baby. So I glued it down and then I just cut off the excess. So I am done with this panel. Now I'm gonna do the other panel. But see, when you flip it over, it looks like a legitimate seam. So here they are all hung up. To attach them, I clipped them up and then I folded it once and folded it again and clipped them over. So that's the other seam that we didn't glue. That's the seam that we cut along when we cut our curtains. So if you didn't want to do like a little valance like this, you could have just did the glue gun, the same thing at the top, just to make them plain. But I think it adds like more texture, more dimension. It makes them seem like a little bit less DIY. So you can like make this any width that you want. I kind of just played around with it to get it looking the way that I wanted to. But yeah, you can move this up and down. If you didn't want them that wide, you could always make them shorter by changing how you folded them and clipped them up. But super easy DIY. Literally, I did it in, I don't know, 20 minutes, and I still see that blue thing, but that's okay. I'll just keep them closed like that for now, right? So I hope you guys liked the tutorial, and if you ever do any DIY, please tag me or let me know, because I'd love to see them and share them in my stories.